new thing where if basically I'm gonna be playing a game in the background and the volume's gonna be turned down all the way, so you ain't gonna be able to hear it, but you're just only gonna be able to hear my voice, which is fine because all you're gonna be doing is hearing a story, and I'm gonna be talking about stories that I've either heard in the past or that have happened in my life. And so, yeah. I've turned the comments off of speech, so if y'all send me a comment, I'm not going to be able to hear it. It will tell me at the top right corner. Basically, yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed the story today. So basically, the story today is about the most brattiest kid I've ever seen in my life. He, you'll know what I mean when I get done, like, talking about him. Basically, this girl took the kid that she was babysitting, and they liked each other. They hung out a lot, and yeah, they were just really great friends. And the parents said, "I'll pay you $400 to watch her out on the weekend." So she was like, "All right, yeah, I'll watch her for the weekend." And yeah, she had a good time doing it. And they usually go to the mall, and when they did that, they they took a bus because the girl wasn't old enough to, you know, drive a car yet. Basically, they took a bus, and there's this girl and her son, and basically, the son. This is back in the time when DSs were the good thing. If y'all don't know what a DS is, y'all have never had a childhood in y'all's life. Basically, DSs were like one of the first Nintendo game systems that came out. And actually, I think I have one still. And basically, DSs they're popular, and this kid liked them, I'm assuming. And basically, he saw the older girl give the little girl that she was babysitting the DS. We'll call this little kid Chad. Yeah, we'll call him Chad. Chad's a douchebag name. Yeah. And we'll call the little girl Lucy. The older girl watching her, Mariah. Yeah. And we all know what we're gonna call the mom, Karen. Obviously, come on now. And basically, Mariah gives Lucy the DS because she's bored and she's riding a bus and they're trying to go to the mall. And so when Mariah gives Lucy the DS, the little boy sees it and he's like, "I want this DS." So he goes up to her and goes, "Give it to me. It's my turn to play." Even though this kid did not own it, he said, "Give it to me. I want it." So the little girl said no, she's playing it, and then Mariah said, little boy, go sit back down. You do not own a DS. You do not decide on who gets to play with it first." And then he looks at his mom and he screams and he says, "I want the DS. Can I have it?" And she goes, "Yes, sure. Take it." Come on now, you can do better than that. And basically, the kid decides to start grabbing it and stuff like that. And it was funny because, like, the mom was just sitting there laughing about it. The little girl, Lucy, is screaming and stuff like that. And the mom's just sitting there laughing. And then it got to the point where the older girl, Mariah, literally pushed the boy off her. And then the bus driver just now got into it with them. He just now got into it with them. Like, you could not have done it when the mom was sitting there laughing and the girl was screaming. And then basically after that, the bus driver gets at it and he says, "You were gonna sit at the back of the bus," to the Karen and Chad. And then Mariah and Lucy sat up front because the bus drivers knew what was going on, and they saw that who was in the wrong, and who was in the right. So basically, when he did that, they sat up there. So it got quiet for a while, for a real while actually, and basically, he it gets to the point where the little girl turns back and looks. Not the little girl, Mariah. She turns around and looks, and they're not there. Well, the mom's there, but the little boy Chad's not there. And so she starts looking around and's like, "Where did this little boy Chad go?" And then when she's looking around, she doesn't hear anything for a while, and then hears like a sudden scream. And she looked to her left, and she saw Lucy was crying. And she said, "Help me, help me." And basically, she's like, "What's going on?" And then she says, "The little boy was right between my legs trying to take the DS from her." First off, you should get arrested for that. Well, not arrested, but you should get like a huge fine. One, you shouldn't get arrested because he's like a little boy, but like still, either way, come on now. You're like what, 7 or 8? You should know not to do that. And they're sitting there like actually like pushing each other and stuff like that, and trying to get the DS away and stuff like that. So then it gets to the point where bus driver literally had to kick one of them off. The girl and the Karen and Chad had to get kicked off the bus because that was like against the law, violating other people's rights. And so when they did that, they basically just was like, finally, they're gone. And then they go to the mall. They have a good time. Then they get back on the bus to go home. And then, um, they got on the bus and then they went home. And then all of a sudden, the bus just stops at this like stop area. So they're like, all right, maybe they're picking up a person. Which, yeah, maybe so. No, it was about 45 minutes before the person that they had to pick up actually got on the bus. And when they got on the bus, I swear, these girls' lucks, like, what, it could not have gotten any worse. It was Karen and Chad that were getting back on the bus, and basically, it was a different bus driver because, like, it was different bus driver because of shifts and stuff like that. And basically, when there was different bus drivers, he didn't know what actually had happened. And he's just like, yeah. But he also says, all right, you got a fine to pay, ma'am, because you took a while, and when you're making people wait, you have to pay a fine, which that's kind of reasonable on a bus, making people wait in case they have, like, important things to do. And basically, when they did that, she got a little bit upset. She started screaming at the bus driver saying, "Me and my little boy can take as long as we want, and y'all can wait as long as we want y'all to wait." And then he goes, "You still gotta pay the fine, ma'am, no matter what you say." And then she goes, "Okay, whatever, fine." And then she goes and sits down. But then she looks at the girl, Mariah, and goes, well, she didn't say anything. She just looked at her and gave her that, like, nasty look, like, as if, yeah, I'm about to do something. Different bus driver, different rules now. But that's not how it works. And basically, Mariah, had gave Lucy the DS. But Lucy had just fell asleep holding the DS. Okay, and reasonable. If you're a little girl or a little boy, it doesn't matter if you're a little kid, you're going to get tired and you're going to need to take your naps. So, yeah, I take naps. Get over it. And basically, when she fell asleep, the little boy came running over and tried to snatch the DS. And then, when that happened, the bus driver just stopped because all you were hearing was yelling and stuff like that. And he was just sitting there waiting for it to actually, like, end and stuff like that. And then, like, when it got into, like, it got serious and stuff like that, like, the little girl was slapping the boy and stuff like that, and the boy's just trying to tug the DS away from her. And he really wouldn't stop. He wasn't letting her get away with it. And then the mom comes up and's like, it starts helping the little boy take the DS from her. And then, like, that's when Mariah actually got mad and picked up the kid and actually pushed him on the mom. Like, it's like if you picked him up and, like, handed something to someone in a forceful way. It was kind of like that. And she said, you need to get your child to act better or you're going to get kicked off the bus. And even the bus driver was like, yeah, that's not legal to do what you're doing. And then she goes, shut up, I can do whatever I want. And then this elder guy, like, he could still, like, walk and stuff like that, but, like, it was like a struggle. he was like walking over there and he's like, ma'am, if anybody back in my day saw your kid like this, they ought to smack him in the side of the head because of how stupid he's acting. And she goes, shut up, and pushes him, and he goes, that's it. You're arrested for assaulting an officer. The guy, the old elder guy, actually was an officer that nobody knew, and he just sits there and he arrests her, and like 5 other cops come to the bus. And it's hilarious because then they're all like, "Yeah, we heard what all happened. The officer told us." And then she's like, "You're violating my legal rights." And then Mariah's like thinking in her head, she's like, "Bro, this girl just literally pushed an officer. If you're gonna sit here and talk about legal rights, you better have a reason to talk about legal rights." And yeah, the wife gets arrested. Little boy Chad gets taken somewhere. Who knows? Who cares at this point? Mariah goes home. Well, not he. Actually, she didn't go home. No, she's at the bus. She was just sitting there waiting because if you're part of an incident, you have to sit there and wait for the parents of the actual child to go over there. And then they got there and they were like asking what happened and stuff like that. And then she told her everything that happened. And then yeah, she got paid. I think. I don't know. I mean, I would want to get paid after that. Hey, come on now. And yeah, everything happened. So, yeah. If you guys like this video, please subscribe. Yeah. And I'll probably make more depending on what's y'all's opinion. So yeah.